Hey, folks, welcome to another weekly edition of Paper Aircraft Weekly. This is your host, Dave, with SIL. How y'all doing this evening? Getting to be about mid-March. Starting to warm up even here. I'm exploring some temperatures close to the 60s, believe it or not. Close. Shit, it got to be about 64 today. There's like no snow on the ground. How the hell can we go from one day? I know everybody gives us the same answer every time we do something like this and say like, oh, hey, you know what? One day is like 20, the next day is 60, working in Wisconsin, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I get it. Okay. That answer gets old, though. I mean, for real. Like, this is temperatures I had in South Carolina at this time of the year. Actually, that's not true. It'd be about 5 or 7 degrees warmer, but, oh, man. I'm just not ready. I'm just not ready. I mean, I'm close to ready, but I'm just not ready. So anyway, how y'all doing out there? We have some new ideas. We have some new things. We got some goings on. How's y'all's winter days doing? 161. It's almost become kind of like just a, an everyday thing at this point, isn't it? Just be like, well, I'm doing it now, So, you just so in the middle of it. It's not even... just became a thing. So, I had an idea based on this. And I'm gonna jump right into this because before I lose this idea, before I get ranting about something, I wanted to get this out here. And I should have put it, okay, it's another one a day, okay? But it's not like the one a day like we've already got going on. I was thinking about this before, and, okay, it really only affects those of us that have a multitude of aircraft, especially a multitude of aircraft flying. I don't know how many of you guys are experiencing this along with me, but how did that just miss? Damn, it sucks. This was a horrible example of painting that. Like, look, one wing, it's asymmetrical. Anyway, so, okay. I figured, I was like, you're not Skyping, so it had to be something. But that's alright. It's alright. As long as you're here in spirit, brother. So my theory here, again, this really only affects people like me or companies like me that might have a bunch of planes in their stables at the time, especially flying ones. So the new one a day, and which I'm going to start probably April 1st, it's another one a day. But what I'm going to do, since I keep building these, is I'm going to... I think I can do it anyway. Going through the inventory. It might not be a true one a day, and I might only keep it up for like half the year or something. But the point is, hey Robert, how's it going, bro? How you doing? I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to retire a plane a day, especially as long as I keep building, because I have to cut these down. Now I thought about it as like, okay, the one a day is going to be, succinctual. So it's like build one, kill one. Whether it's like burn it or palace it or whatever. So I'm very seriously considering that. Whether it's going to be April, I don't know. If I start it, it's going to be soon. And it probably won't be, okay, it's not going to be a true one day because it's not going to be year long. I'm not going to do it year long. I don't have that much planes. If I cut down 360 planes, I'm only going to have about 30 to fly. And I understand that's probably where some of y'all are right about, right there. I'm not ready to part with some of these quite yet, so I would like to keep my force at, I've described it to you before, just in like one box and the line, basically. So, definitely out of like most of the hanging boxes. So, I gotta kill a hanging box, I gotta prep it empty, make one empty. And then there's two that are holding, and I'd like to be out of two of them, or one of them, but I don't think I can do that. So a shoebox, the palace, the pad, the pry fly, and that. So yeah, that's my dream, my idea. I've already begun the paring down. I said that before, and I have. So I've wheedled it down, but again, these one a days, man, I keep building them, and even if they're going, like, first of all, I'm building too many bodies. Second of all. Even pry fly is growing, so it's like, well, if I kill an older one, even if it's got some flight on the airframe, I can bring out a newer one. Obviously, that's a good idea, but it's like, replacing new with old. I don't know. I kind of want to work these designs from the days of yore. I was hoping to get out today. And by that I just mean seriously flying ND-19-2 and ND-21 and ND-19-1. Actually, an ND-18-3. Those are the ones that were like the spider-like one, and they're unnamed because, of course, they're just experimental. You notice it's experimental without the X. But I want to get these, like NASA's over there. You didn't have as much luck with these, I don't think, or maybe we just didn't have the right birds. So maybe we're gonna have to do a how to build on this. I'm apparently dedicated to making how to build on Nova. Again, the only reason I told you this before, I'm gonna tell you this again. Maybe we haven't done a Nova but how to build is just because I'm trying to get the I want the video right and I want the Nova right. And I gotta fly the Nova. And until recently, I haven't had good flying abilities outside, mind you, okay? I always prep you guys for outside flight. Anybody can get a good flight inside. I mean, I'll build you my crappiest flying bus I got and still be ready to, you know. But I'm talking about, so I gotta prep them. I gotta make sure they're outside, ready. So I want a good Nova to give you, make sure I've got it right. No matter what type it is, I'm going to give it to you. So the video is coming, I promise. Video's coming. I know, right? Well, I mean, I announce y'all as y'all come on. So it's like, if you come on, you're getting the shout out. OAE or Y13 or I mean, like anybody. Foldable Flight is like, I mean, I haven't talked to them directly. Is that a them or is that a he or whatever? And I suppose I should probably like, not give him a shout out, which I just did indirectly, but just like chat him up or something like that and say, hey, what's going on? What the hell are y'all doing over there? You know what I mean? So, yeah, OA's probably got in on that because he mentions bringing that up. So it's a one dude. Yeah, I think it was one dude, but could be probably this cool ass 17-year-old, or could be a cool ass 70-year-old. Who knows? But just got a lot of time on his hands and could make some good videos. You know what I mean? So, yeah, like I always say, head on to everybody. You notice, if you're here, if you've been here, I always point them in your direction. Robert, you get, dude, seriously. Just by being here, people, go to Powerhouse. Yeah, the avian video is quite nice, man. Watching you build them damn things. You know, some people are amazed by those. So, I mean, I think they like the construction. Like, it's watching the construction of the complex stuff, too, just as much as it is the basic folding. I mean, you know, you've dealt with plenty of these people that have, like, if they take a look at yours and even a flying bus is like, man, I don't know how you do that. I can't build that. Okay, maybe not the flying bus, but seriously, there are planes where it's like, how the hell? You know? So, I mean, there's always going to be one that captures the essence of it. So, whatever you got it, whatever you have, whatever you got that's like, okay, hey man, this is my plane. This is the one. NASA's will remember it. Remember the nose? Yeah, this is the one I really want to work. It's kind of spider-like. In that it borrows. It's got his. Actually, I took away his forward sloping anhedrals here, and like actually, I think this is a. I think it is a constant. There's no slope to the fuselage, but I'm gonna check that now. I feel like I've done this before. It's about 3/4 in the back, so I know it's got to have a slope because I think there's more than that in the front. But in any case, like I said, I want to work this one because yeah, there is a slope, but it's slight, so it's not as. I think it's pretty pointed on a typical spider. So. Well, no, right, yeah. I mean, like you guys, seriously, and you watch your video, and then you watch like Y13s to get, like, say, the X47. It's great to watch both because you're getting both aspects. You know, like a simpler version, a more complex version. Even though basically, I mean, you know, seriously, the flying body, the lifting body, the rounded body to those is basically the same. So, but it's good to get a different take. I mean, I think. You know, and again, we can't stress this enough because we pointed out, and Robert, you pointed out too, is again, like, it's good to see what everybody comes up with. Don't care how it looks, and don't ever complain. Don't ever, like, send us talk in the video or give us a chat and say, like, it didn't come out like yours. That's the point. I don't want it to come out like mine. That's kind of why I don't like giving you, like, I mean, if we're building together, like head to head, we're doing it right now, like me and Mark get together and stuff like that. It's like, yeah, I mean, hey, mine's 3/4 of an inch. Yeah, it's cool to see, but I mean, don't, doesn't matter. Your take on it is your take on it. I mean, I just had somebody, we built a couple of planes together. We've been building planes together during the course of a couple of days, and when I've been building my one-a-days at work, and like they build theirs totally different. I mean, totally different. And they kind of take it like they're making a mistake with it. I'm like, you're not making a mistake, and they're right. It doesn't look anything like mine, but that's the whole point. That's why I want you to build it. I want to see, like, I'm more anxious to see yours fly than mine, even if you think like, man, mine doesn't look that good. Well, I don't think mine looks as good as yours, even if you think it looks dopey. And I mean, in some cases, mine looks dopey. In some cases, yours looks dopey. I don't care. I mean, that's the new, that's like trying to figure out, okay, so why? And whose flies better? I mean, your 1-inch tall fuselage with like 3-inch wings might be better than my 5-inch wings with 3/4 inch feet. Whatever the case may be. That's why we do what we do. I want to see differences. There is no wrong. It's like an opinion. Your folding technique might be a little different, but I mean, basically, as long as you keep it symmetrical, who the hell cares how it comes out? That's what we're interested in. That's why we want everybody to build ours, and I understand that's why you guys want us to build yours, because, I mean, you caught us up at a different time. See, it's a lot, like, OAE's really big up, and Robert, we were talking about this. Remember, you said, like, OAE wants everybody to build his a lot, and, like, like, get those out there. But there's a reason for that. I mean, we talked about it. We talked about this, too. We touched on it. We said, like, he doesn't have that many videos of flight. He's got a lot of how to builds, no flight. Maybe he does fly, but he's more anxious to see what everybody's take on his are. And I can get with that. I understand that, because I'm the same way. But the reason why, like, you guys want to see us build, like, more of your planes, I get it, because, like, well, we're builders, obviously. But you also understand why we don't as much, because we get caught up in ours, I mean, yes, we're in the middle of one-a-days, and we could, like, slot yours in and build them one-a-day. Sure, I'm not saying we can't. But, I mean, we're like you. We're tinkerers. Damn well I'm a tinkerer. So, I've got so many ideas running through that I can't just simply, like literally, I've got to get them out there and then figure out what it is I've got. So I can't just, it's not a willy-nilly sort of thing. I damn using that word, but yours, yeah, I know. Well, you're not going to see too many takes on yours and Ben's. Seriously, man. Like, you guys, I mean, there's a lot of, I don't say that there's a lot of blended body videos out there, but there are, I mean, some people's level of commitment is, like, totally different than others' level of commitment. And, I mean, there's obviously nothing wrong with that. Get your plane flying. Who cares, right? But, I mean, you guys said, like, yeah, the Omni Zeta, oh my god, dude. Yeah, let's talk about a week-long project. I mean, damn well, I mean, I don't understand, like, did you guys ever explain how long that took? Like, seriously, did that take, like, a long time? Because if we expect to have, like, a 24-hour session, or even, dude, seriously, even a 6-hour session that we're going to extend on 3 days as we build it, because it's 4-foot wingspan. Where am I going to store that damn thing? And by the way, I want to see a picture of that. Oh, that's on you. I want to see it. Robert, you too, though. I want to see a picture of this damn thing in your place. Where do you store this sumbitch? For reals, because I'm trying to think of where I'm going to put it when I get it done. Like, I hang it outside. Is it my flag to fly? You know what I mean? So, but, I mean, I'm also trying to picture, like, where the hell am I going to find 4 feet of paper? Am I just going to unroll a ream? Am I going to have to chop it down my own damn tree? Because for real, 4 feet paper don't come in handy. I can find 2 feet paper. I don't know if I can find, like, that's like, you can't even see my hands, like, that's way out here. Is it, I'm trying to think, like, it cannot possibly be 1 sheet. You've got to have bonded it, and you've got to use tape. And you know how the government over there at NASA's works. Like, dude, funding for tape, to do tapering, like Pow does, Pow House, whew, I don't know if they can be able to wangle up that kind of cash. It's funny how he talks about money, but he never has that kind of cash to make that kind of plane. They should be swimming in planes of all shakes and models. But you know what I'm saying. But I mean, dude, like that's how I know some of mine are really hardy. Mine are complex. And the folds, and I've always thought, wings are gentle. Don't dare touch the wings. You touch them wings, it's on, buddy. But, man, if you've seen some of mine, like that one that I showed you that's 31 years old, I think that plane has been hanging most of its life. I'm just, exposure to the elements is what makes them hardy. I have no qualms about taking that thing back outside. I mean, no, I didn't take it out during the winter. Not taking it out now during the thaw because there's too many puddles of water, and I'm not going to lose it over some damn cheap-ass water. But when it's nice, she's going back out to fly. She's my warbird at this point. 30 years old. Come on, man. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not scared about bringing them out there. I'm scared about losing them, and every time I mention that during the show, like we were talking about last week, I'm dead serious about, you can't be shy about losing them. You just can't. You kind of got to dedicate. I mean, you can't go from the level, if you've been flying, and most of us have, because most of us probably, grew up and said, airplanes for kids, blah, blah. But the point is, you made them while you were kids, and while you were kids and you built them, you didn't give a crap, did you? You flew it, you lose it on a roof, you lose it in a creek, you lose it in a tree, you're like, go build another one. And seriously, when you think about it, I mean, here in IVPAC, it's one thing different because we number them, so we get attached to them. Number 67 was a god. Number 172 was a god. I mean, okay, for my sake. But you have your numbers because we do number them, so we know which ones are good. But I mean, as a kid, you build 20 planes and they all look the same, and you throw them, and one of them is better than the other, but it got in a tree and it sat there overnight and it died, and blah. You probably crumbled it and ball threw it out. Right? See, we shouldn't be attached like that. I mean, we grow up with kids, but I mean, yours, dude, powerhouse planes, not the kind of planes that you just, because you put so much into them, but that's the thing, it's your level of commitment. You put that in there. If you're okay with losing them, that's on you. If you're not okay with losing them, that's on you. But the whole point is I want to build them. I'm not okay with losing them either, but by the same token, I don't want to be that scared, I don't want to be, I build them so you can make them, and if you lose them, don't be scared, we'll build them together again, because, the videos are out there, so it's it's neither here nor there. If you lose one, go build another one. Go build 10 more. I get that way sometimes. I did that when, I don't know if I posted the video, but I did post the pictures up on IVPAC a while back. When I lost 418, see, here we go with the numbers again. I lost 418. That one was it was a stronger material. I got pictures on it. And it was it landed in a creek. It had these big ass letter numbers because I remember what I was doing with them. I was organizing an inventory. Some of our electronics inventory, I was organizing by bays. And our bays were literally A1 through 3, C1 through 3, blah, blah, blah. So it had all those big, huge numbers. And I think they kind of ombre'd because the printer was running out of toner at that time, which I thought looked cool, so I borrowed it. Anyway, so I remember the plane. It's a Phase 4. That thing flew so good because it was not a cardstock, but it was definitely thicker than Xerox standard copy paper because it had to last. It was going on our bays, right? Ironically, we started putting barcodes on there too right after that. But anyway, so it was thick, and I thought it would last in the water. I ran to get it. I wasn't going to it'll be fine, leave it there. So I was like, no! So I cried. I was screaming get it out of the water. It was dead. It's dead, but it's in the palace now. So, it's dude, if you get one good flight out of them, you lose them the next flight, I think, Mark's probably not going to okay this, but seriously, if I get one good flight out of them, I'm happy. Especially if I know how to build the others. So, I'm trying to distance myself from leaving them, killing them. And when you got 300 hanging and 400 boxed, well, I don't know if that's my count. My count's more 100 boxed and 300 hanging. But you got that many, I can afford to do something 2 or 5 or 10 or 20. So that's why I'm doing my one-a-day thing. Okay, I'll be here. 63 in the damn gutters, man. Seriously, that's impressive. My parents came home to 33 on the roof once before. I remember my mom pulled up, stopped in the driveway, pulled into the driveway, and then came around in front and you've been busy. But I mean, I remember it was like the last time I did that. And what was funny about that particular time was after losing, like I did that, and I'm pretty damn sure I lost. I think 5. No, 7. It was the initial 7. Like 7 of them landed on the roof. After that, I just got pissed off and then started throwing them on the roof directly, on purpose. I was, oh man, that was so annoying. That's why 33 of them ended up on the roof. That's the most I ever did, and I did it on purpose. But it was South Carolina. My roof didn't have gutters, so I didn't lose them to gutters. But I left them there because most of those planes, ironically, were. I'm trying to think. I think those were like Gen 1s for me. So I had a lot of bulls and dragons up there. Probably a couple lances, an arrow flash or two. These are some of my early models. I did lose a couple ospreys up there, but ironically, like, no phases, no javelins. Actually, it might have been a wind cutter or two or an arrow were up there. But, like, seriously, if they were Gen 1 and not Gen 2s, like, yeah, dude, seriously, they were up there. And it kind of was like, without thinking back, now looking back on it, I realized, like, that really kind of weeded out my force at that time because they were, like, all of my shoddy ones that I just didn't care. It's probably a good idea. Maybe I should do that here, just chuck about 30 of them up there. I got gutter guards. They'll come back down. Whoever last. Hey, anyway, no. I'm not willing to go that route. Planes overnight usually equal death. Except for you tapering people out there. Anyway, so my idea was to get rid of these, like, you know, because again, I gotta up age my force because my fleet is like old. With the 30-year-olds. And I plan on keeping them in there. Like, because they're phase 3s, they're still they're you could technically call them active duty. Even though, do you really call a 30-year-old bird active? I don't know. Okay, but you guys are parrots. No, I'm probably not gonna go that route. I think I'm just gonna, like, just kill ones off as I find them, like, 1 for 1. That's basically it. I'm just gonna have to do this 1 to 1. And yeah, as far as the videos go, the new, again, I want to stress, I have been working in the background. You can't see it, you can't tell. Maybe one of the ways you can tell is by the fact that I've got, like, no videos up because I've been working on getting these to the liking, and it's almost where they're at. So, I'll probably put them more on my channel than this channel. But there'll be some exclusives here. And exercise season is starting up. So if any of you guys are like, this is a good time for some of you guys in the 1-a-day department, like if you build them, it's a good time here to, you know, get them airborne. I know if you build straight to pry fly, yeah, it's not exactly time, but now's about the time of year when we start putting out our exercise schedules in case we hold any exercises. So, or mass sorties. Me, NASA's, and KIA have done this. Missile's been in on it. I don't know if he's made one. But, like, again, if you want to put up an exercise schedule, and usually it's a window, because, like, I mean, seriously, you could dedicate a couple flying days. You could dedicate a week to it if you want. But usually it's because, you know, you have intangibles, life, weather, pursuit of happiness, whatever the hell it is that gets in your way so you can't fly. Or, you know, like, you give it, like, hey, I'm going to try to do, you know, Quiet Papyrus this month. So, let's see if I can, you know what I mean? So, your names, you can have whatever names you want. So, I've got some holdovers like Exercise Star, Exercise Throw. Those have always held true because the Javelins have always been involved in Throw, and Nova have always been involved in Star. But, I mean, that's in case you want to fly one type of plane each day. You come up, your exercise is yours, however you want to do it. But, like, I think it's crucial to actually hold those every once in a while. I mean, fly-ins are fly-ins. You bring what you want. And you could bring, like, 400, you can bring 4. It doesn't matter. So anything and everything can fly during a fly-in. They're different than our exercises. Exercises are usually dedicated to, like, one type or one role or, you know, whatever. And it's like you commit to it. It's like, or, like, you just want to weed out planes, you know. I held 2 exercise storms, like, not back-to-back years, but 2 out of 3 years. Basically because a storm was coming like the first 2 days, and then it just kind of held on. So, but like I got a chance, I made it a point to like everything on the line's flying today. So, you guys, you do what you see it. So, you you, you want to have your schedule. You know what you're going to fly during that day. That's totally up to you. Again, I usually go by types. I usually go by like all these will fly one day, then all of these will fly the next exercise, next day, next month, whatever window you have. And again, you put out if you're putting out a schedule, I suggest a window of time because you can't dedicate like, well, I'm definitely going to do it April 22nd, 23rd. You don't know that. You might be going on a family trip. It might be raining both days. You might be in the hospital. You don't know. There are all kinds of intangibles. So, I mean, unless you know you're going to I'm going to slot time out and I know I'm going to do this. But again, we're dealing with paper planes. I mean, unless you taper them, you might be at the mercy of Mother Nature. So, that's why I say, give it a window. I usually like to do a fortnight because it's just better to... That's a reasonable time. I mean, somewhere in that span of time, you're going to have a couple decent days. And then you could cut it down. If you flew on a Tuesday, maybe it rained the next couple days, had to let it dry out, fly Saturday, Sunday. But then you say, well, it's a week-long event. Boom. You got it covered. As long as you got, those planes in, I think. That's really all that matters. So, that's right. I did make it out of 2 boxes. One box. Fuck. I emptied 1 box. 1 box. So it's not 100% successful, but it is successful. But I really want to work these. This is more important. I got to get these. And the thing is I don't have much to work. I just... I'm bragging. I'm just saying this thing rocks. This one in particular, right here, rocks. This one flew outstanding. If I take it apart, because I'm going to have to, I don't remember how the hell I built this. If I got 5 of them, I think. I've definitely got 3. Pretty sure I got 5. These work. This could be something. As long as I'm not really doing anything stupid. I'm pretty sure it's a unique design. So, I can see something in the shading there. Like how the folds are. So, I know there's no way to show you. But, oh, yeah, right there. So, you can see some of the folds inside there. You have to turn into something. I'm hoping it does. Do I need another plane? No, not really. But, like somebody's trying to... Yeah, it kind of does. Hey, OAE, how you doing, man? Yeah, it kind of does. We were talking about you. Did you catch that? Or did you just pop in? I was picking on you a little bit about your lack of flight videos. But I was explaining I know why you do this. So, I mean, again, it's like... We get it. I mean, I definitely... Just like you, I want to see everybody else's take on my birds, on my planes. How do you fold my plane? I know I fold my plane. I know how mine flies when I build it. But how does it fly when you build it? How does it fly when, you've created it and you've thrown it? So that's why. But that's also why I like to see your... That's also why I'd like to see your videos on it. Is because that way I really can see. I can't just visualize. I can see it fly. You know what I mean? So... that's basically what I was bringing up. Was how you comparatively, you have all those how to builds instructions and the few videos you do have are how to build videos. You don't have any flight videos. Whereas I like to, we like to throw in. It's a balance actually. In IVPAC, well, at least me representative of IVPAC, I've got probably about a 10-to-1, maybe even a 20-to-1 ratio of flight to how to builds. So whereas you're a 20 to nothing on how to builds versus flight. So, but again, I understand. I get it. It's cool to see the others. Again, their takes, their representations on stuff. So, but you got to understand where we're coming from. I mean, I'm dealing with 13 major designs of my own that I'm trying to. I'm a tinkerer, so I'm always playing with these and I got an idea, be it from one of yours or from somebody else's. It could be these canards. I could try that, So. Point of fact, I am dealing with that now. There's a couple of them that I'm I really got to try these out. I'm just trying to figure out how I'm going to install them, So, that was being something like this here when I'm talking about like, okay, this is a spider, but this is like MD19-2. I mean, you know, I've had it a while. I don't care. I need to progress. What sucks about this is like I'm talking about, you know, upgrading the planes, you know, making sure the average age of my fleet creeps up by design and by number. If I retire some of these are built around 2000, some of these are built around 2008, so everything up here is already at least 10 years old. I have hardly any flying planes. Oh, never mind, I can't say that. I do have, like, I would say about a quarter of my flying fleet is like 5 years or newer. But the problem is, the other 3/4 are 10, actually I'd go say 12 years or older. And again, the bulk majority, law of averages, yeah, my flying fleet is, I think I've got it figured on a piece of paper somewhere that I just discovered. It's like, I think my flying fleet's average age is like 19.2 years. Because I did figure it out. Even like design age is a little bit newer, but flying fleet age is freaking old. Because I don't always necessarily retire the eldest. Some of the eldest, or the reason why they've stayed with me that long is because they've flown that good. Usually the new ones get crushed because, like, I'll take this one if this thing flies like a dart and corkscrews, I'm gonna burn it because I hate that crap. And it could be argued that you never need to build more than 5 of anything for that very reason, because, like, okay, so it corkscrews. It can be fixed, whether through folds or cuts or flaps or rudders or what have you. Corkscrews can be fixed. We all know this. But the point is like, when you could build 5 of these, 1 corkscrews, the other flies great, what do you have to do? You're not have to toy around with the one that sucks. You're have to fly the shit out of the one that flies good, right? So that's why some of these suffer. And I mean, I'm a tinkerer, but like, I'm going to tinker with the one that flies good because, hey, it flies good. Let's see what I can do to it. Sometimes I've tinkered with ones that fly like ass to see if I can get them to fly better, and they still fly like worse ass. And that gets frustrating. Nova's a good example. Javelin's beginning to upset me a little bit because a lot of the ones I've been recently building still corkscrew like a bitch. Actually, I take that back. I'm sorry. They do not corkscrew. They barrel roll. And I've really got to seriously, like, I've started making them like I thought I'd solved the problem, and I haven't solved the problem. So, like, barrel rolling needs to stop. I don't need them to be wasting their kinetic energy on executing barrel roll after barrel roll just to, you know, get, I mean, thing is, they still get the distance. So it frustrates me because when I see them fly, I'm like, how much more distance can they get if they wouldn't spend their time? So, I hate that crap. I mean, if you guys ever have planes like that, obviously you could tweak the hell out of them, but are you willing to keep tweaking? Or are you, like, going to say, like, I give the fuck up. I'm going to go ahead and build another one and, like, put this one out to pasture. Seriously, you probably do that. I do that. I've done that. That's why my planes suffer. I don't care. Okay, I care, but I've got enough planes that I don't need to care. You know what I mean? So there. NASA's over there working on his new base. Some of us have been more established in ours. And I just want to say, like, I brought that up as a topic tonight because I wanted to, like, I hope you guys, like, IVPAC members out there and anybody who's potentially interested, don't let it fool you into thinking, like, the bases are kind of just it's just a fun way of keeping track of the planes. I get a kick out of fin coating them, as we call it, you know, putting the letters on them, because I'm really into real life planes. And yeah, you kind of got to be in, like, the business that we're in, but that's why. So it's like, it's just as fun to mark them up belonging to a wing and a squadron, you know, as it would be to build them in some cases, you know, come up with squadron patches and stuff. I know. Oh, hey, you've done this. I've seen them. I've got some of my own. Matter of fact, I'm trying to get them made up so that these planes can actually carry them. Yeah, I haven't said it yet today. I'm going to go ahead and say it because this is a lead-in for that. Get your damn roundels, people. This is what's leading into that, though, is because you can have squadron patches on your birds. Kind of cool when you think about it. Really cool. Anyway, yeah, that. This gets back to my, like, you know, when you're little, you do stupid shit. Well, I did stupid shit, and I, like, had secret codes, because I used to, you know, since we were in the middle of the Paper Air War, and, you know, we had, like, I mean, like, you look back at my original paperwork on the original phases, the original wind cutters, the original, as it was called, Blazer / what became the Osprey, now since retired, the beloved bird. They were coded, like, secretly coded. I had, like, all kinds of different things. Like, they weren't mine unless they had this little design on them, and it was like this intricate, stupid little design that I never really used because I couldn't remember how to draw it the same way twice. But they all had, like, I mean, I always used to place a little color barcoded on the inside of the anhedrals, because, damn, my planes have always had anhedrals. But there used to be a color in there. I was like, you can see this plane here, and it's like, is that mine? Well, let me tell you. Then you take a peek. Nope, not mine, because it's not in there. That I did used to do. But, truth be told, there's a bunch of my planes that actually still have a little code of my own that they all have. Well, okay, not all. These two don't. But there's quite a few on the line that do have a little secret code that, like, when I've produced it, I've put it in there somewhere. Yeah, I still do that. But I haven't done it recently because the winter days usually I don't remember to put that code in because it's inside the plane. You're welcome to do shit like that, but again, this is mostly for the bases, you know, just like coming up with a base name so you can code it. If anybody was confused, again, sometimes I've heard it's been clear as mud, but it's not hard what we do as far as the basing goes. It's just like, again, a fun way of keeping up with the planes where they're stationed and basically trying to, like, help you remember, like, where you've lived in life. That's how, I mean, I think I would remember it anyway because of the way how my life went, and I've got a decent memory so far. Dementia hasn't hit yet, so maybe it will, maybe I won't remember, but I always have the bases to fall back on. It's like, oh yeah, I did live in Germany. Oh yeah, I did live in France. You know, something like that. Man, I haven't... Okay, seriously, who is that guy? I just had that words with Robert about that, too. He's like, so, okay, he's a dude, right? Just one dude? You know his age, you know what he does, you know, like, is this his thing? Like, I mean, I'm just curious about him, that's all. I suppose I need to chat him up one time. There you are. I need to chat him up. And see, like, what the hell, like, what he does, what you do, what's going on, you know what I mean? Because... Like, you talked to... Oh, wait, have you talked to him? Or something? I'm assuming you must have, because he's got, like, a couple of your designs on there. You chat with him or something like that. I've only watched a few of his videos. I'm sorry, I'm a little distracted because, like you said, the black one here looks like... Here, let me flip it this way. Okay, now it's green. Although, it doesn't look green to you. That looks like the same color, doesn't it? Why does it go more orange when I take that? Anyway, this is green. This is like that bluish gray. For clarification, in case you can't tell. Anyway, yeah, so the black one, which now it's green because I flipped it over. This looks like one of his. Okay, I was just... Since you said that, I'm trying to look... Oh, okay. One of his. Are all these his designs? You notice how this is somewhat like kind of like, Mark, if that's you, I'm going to beat your ass. I just realized that little like cutting pad that he folds on there looks a lot like Mark's. I think I've mentioned this before. It's just stupid. Like I didn't say it. I'm saying it again. Yeah, he's got a lot of like overall like every kind of design. Like, some tried and true, some complex, some... Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah. Yeah. I can see, like... Okay, I'm just looking at the featured uploads and stuff, so I'm not looking at all of them. So a couple of the ones I've watched through this channel or through others, and so I see that, yeah. Just... See it right. There's a couple. I was hoping Wyvern doesn't look a little bit too common. On Messenger? Alright. Okay. So, yeah. I ain't got in touch with him yet, so I don't know. Obviously, I think we've posted like a couple chats through here on this channel or one of our contractor channels with him. I'm not sure. I like the videos. I like the fact that it's not, overly complex for everything. I mean, obviously a couple of them have more complexity than others, but that's true with like everybody's. So I like the way he presents it too. That's pretty cool. You know. He needs to update his About page because it's like he joined in 2017 and I'm just a few months into this YouTube journey. Yeah, well, that few months has turned into about 3 years now, bud. That's cool, though. That's cool. It could be. I don't know. I like to consider, like, everybody likes to consider that your own planes are unique and, like, OE, your planes are definitely, like, unique because it takes so much folding and then taping to get into them. And by the same token, so is, like, Y13's, because look what he puts into his. And Powell, look what he puts into his. So everybody's got their, I mean, I'm probably the most basic one here. Sometimes I don't do, like, my real technical ones are one-offs. Like, I run IVPAC, I can't be wasting, like, well, I shouldn't call it wasting because it's create time, but it's still, like, what I mean is these in IVPAC get my concentration. So I'd be seeing it as wasting my efforts on a one-off. Not from you guys. What I mean is my own one-off. I wouldn't consider myself, like, I'll throw a whole bunch of technical things on one plane and then, like, damn it, am I really going to fly this thing? Am I going to build more than one of these? You know what I mean? That's why I always talk about mass production. So, like, I want 100 of these, I want 50 of these, so I can't be like, okay, I can't be like, yeah. But I will do that. I will put some complicated shit on one just out of the blue. I had to say that. You threw it in there. But I will do that because, I mean, like, I love the tinker, so. And I do have some of these, but I don't think I have any right now because I haven't built one in a long time. So I do have some of these that I, like, spend all day trying out new complicated crap to try to see if I can build, like, the most realistic looking plane I can. But, again, it's not my route, So everybody's got their route. That's not my route. But I've been known to do it, and I may do a video or two of that crap in the future. But don't hold me to it because I'm enjoying how I do these. So anyway. Sorry, sidetrack. Those yeah, chat him up, see about like what he's all about, how he's done his flights and stuff like that. Because you guys have mentioned him too. So that's like basically one of the only ones you mentioned between FF and Y13. It's like anybody else. About it. Pal, you mentioned, Jason a couple weeks back. I always thought that was just another one of your aliases. So I love that, dude. That is like one of my favorites. I love the fact that we, within our circle, give each other the different ideas. That's the coolest. And, like I was saying before, though, that's what we were talking about. We were talking about you and just saying, like, again, it's like, you give us the ideas, but unfortunately, maybe, depending on how you look at it, unfortunately for you, we don't build too many of yours because the ideas we glean from yours, we put on ours. And seriously, if I had one or two of my own designs, that was it, I'd be building the crap out of your planes. But you know what I'm dealing with here. I mean, like I said, I've got 13. Where's that damn list? I've got a fleet of 13 of my own individuals, and I'm working on 5 other ones that I'm trying to get in. $17. Although 2 of these, 15, because 2 of these are experimental. But 3 of these are experimental. 14. Okay, so I was right. But 3 of these I'm locked in, and a couple of these others, like an ND, that I'm still working with. So it's like, through no fault of your own. It's not like I'm not trying to, like... I hope you guys don't think I'm, like, putting off your builds or anything like that, because that's not what this is about. It's just about, like, I'm working so many of mine, and I've got so many of mine to do. I mean, yes, again, I could always just do it one day and do one of yours. And, I mean, dude, I still got a half a year to go. I mean, chances are 1 year's are going to get built. I'm not counting on that Zeta yet, but I'll tell you what, though, if we... Can that Zeta be done in a day? That 4-foot-long winged mother... Can that be done in a day? Because if it can, maybe that will be the feature one weekend when I got absolutely nothing to do. Like, you know what? Let's do this. That could be one kick-ass... I still got to figure out how the hell I'm going to get 4 feet of paper. But, yeah, that'd be cool. Oh, no, dude, you've seen the channel. He's linked to it. I've checked his videos out. We've got links to his channel on IVPAC. So, yeah, I know about him. We've seen his shit. So, what's the one that's 4 feet? Because you had mentioned the one that was 4 feet. Because you said, like, we should do that damn show. I mean, we should do the Zeta show, too. But we should do the 4-footer. And it's like, I'm trying to think of, like, okay, one day, like, not 24 hours. We're talking about one wakey day that you can't, like, let's binge build and bring down nuggets and drink and just sit here all day long and build it, right? Okay, so I would think it'd have to be. I mean, I can build modular. I've done modular. I've done modular in freeform and, like, flat form. If you guys know the take on that. Like, I have put together 8 sheets of regular paper. This is my early nod to tapering here. It's like I taped together 8 sheets to make a giant sheet. The structural integrity on that, by the way, was horrid. But this was when I was in my youth and stupid. If I did it now, I know I would change it. I know exactly how I would change it. Well, not only that, but I'd probably taper the entire body, so it wouldn't matter. But, that's the 4-foot one. You did suggest we try to build that thing, too. Did you put the directions for that up there? So, I mean, we could do that. Man, dude, Zeta, like I said, if Zeta's an all-day build, I mean, it would be... You're right. I understand that's why you brought it up as a show thing, so... Like, I mean, that... something like that really... It does sound cool as hell. I mean, seriously. There are... Like, there are... I don't know whether I'd video it or not, but I would definitely want to be like, okay, we are going to do nothing but build today, people. You know, and just 4 solid, 6 solid, 8 solid hours. And the thing is, I'd love to make that a weekend because I'd love to make that, you know, the Saturday build, the Sunday flight. I mean, that'd be cool as hell. This is nothing different than I wouldn't have done as a kid. And I mean, you can do it as an adult too. It's just like life. Sometimes, like, oh man, I gotta feed the baby. I gotta feed the dog. I gotta go get groceries. That's bullshit. I'm forgetting all that. I'm stuck down here in the cave all day. Leave me alone. Yeah. I'm not getting into that, Robert, man. Seriously, that guy, dude. Man. Like, for so many different reasons. You know, he cool. He's cool. I'm just going to leave it at that. Well, I would be inexperienced with it. You know, so... I mean, I would like to consider everybody that, like... Do you consider... How about this? Do you consider yourself experienced at it? I want to put that out there because it's like... Unless you've probably got... I usually consider myself experienced with my folds on my planes. I need at least a dozen. Unless you've built a dozen, it's like they don't come... Seriously, and if, I mean, I know you guys, I mean, but seriously, like, for those of you that are just watching, like, ask NASA's. Like, dude can build 6 and totally, like, come back to it and forget how the hell he built it. I'm not going to lie, I've been that way, too. There's been a couple. If I've only built 6, I'm like, how the hell did I do this damn thing? This is a prime example. I'm going to have to take this son of a bitch apart, figure out how I built it. Look, simple as hell. But I know this... I'm kind of scared because whatever I cut off might be where I got the idea, and if I didn't cut it off right, I'm like, oh, fudge, I'm going to forget. So, but yeah, I'd say, like, I consider the experience personally, my standard, a dozen planes. Because after that, you kind of got it. Which is one of the reasons why my primary fleet is usually comprised of at least that many of everything. I mean, I don't know if you guys have, when you design yours, Robert, NASA's, OAE, anybody out there, when you design yours, if you like, okay, tweakers, tinkerers like us, yeah, we might build that one off and just be done with it, right? Okay, because it's a technological demonstrator. I get that. But if you do have a fleet, if you do like the design and you build like 8 more, okay, you got it. I don't know how many you guys consider your level once you've got it. Enough planes to have passed, say, testing into D&T, at least that, going into T&E. I said, I've got to do a dozen. I usually have a test fleet of about half a dozen. The next half dozen, like, okay, and definitely, like, new design 1, I'd say about 50-50 of my planes, when I do new designs, I'd say about, it's 50-50, like, the first one is, it's kind of like flying prototypes in the real Air Forces. My first plane is not like the one I accept in the Corps for myself. It's nothing like it. Like, Vampire was a prime example of that. The Vampire that I fly looks nothing like the Vampire, which was unnamed at the time, of course, but was not like the prototype. The plane that led to what Vampire became looked nothing like it, but the ideas were there. I can show it to you because I kept the proto, and then I kept example 1. And see, again, like real life, my prototypes are not numbered in the line because, again, about 50-50, they're not what the plane turns into. Diamante is the same way. Wyvern's not like that. Wyvern 1 was what Wyvern became. Banshee's not like that. So it's been kind of half and half. A lot so, maybe as I've advanced, it's been that way. But like, Quill wasn't like that. All of my protos, although I did think the Quill number 1 was given a number 1 because I knew what I was after. But again, it's like, so the first 6 are kind of like testing and like acclimation planes. I usually call them that. When I try to get like somewhere, I usually will stop at 10, but I don't consider myself experienced enough with it until I get to the 12. So I'll have at least 10. I'll almost always have a development batch. And the acclimation planes, I call them that, literally. So it's like, I'm just getting used to building these birds, so that's how I do it. That's how, I mean, like, if you're going to have a fleet, I mean, I understand there's a lot of people out there who are just building one to build one and learn how to master that one. Like, if you're going to dedicate your time to Wyvern, like, yes, I want to know how to build that one. I'm going to master that one. I don't give a crap about the rest of your fleet. Yeah. It's all well and good, but I've got 14 I got to try to keep track of with, 4 in R&D, so. I'm sorry, I was on a rant. Well, I wasn't on a rant, but I was on a run, so I was like, okay, so yeah, so you guys, well, at 11, you consider yourself experienced, right? I mean, you knew what you were doing, even if you playing around with variants in them. So yeah. Okay, 10, gotcha, all right. It's cool. I like the way you have, so you can see like the developmental stream of that particular plane. And like, okay, with us, you and I, for example, it's like with a family, like your Vulcan, like my phases. It's cool to see how that develops, because we fold. And this isn't to leave you guys, Robert, I'm not like leaving you guys like Y13 out because of this. What I just mean is like a fold, the family of folds that you make for the plane is a little bit more exclusive than, say, like yours that are blended body cutouts. I've always been interested to find out, like, okay, like after having seen his, like, the early videos and then the Instructables, like with OAE, I know exactly, and having built 2 of them, I know exactly, what makes the Vulcan family the Vulcan family. A lot of it is looks, but it's basically the same folds. Now see, if Robert, in your case, In Y13's case, you got a blended body, you got a cutout. I always wonder, like, what does make your family? Do you have a family? Like, you've got the RR8 through the family from RR1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you know, like all the way through. So they were family. What made them a family? Did you have a plan for them that you had each time to cut out because you knew like it was the same cutout? It always intrigued me with that because like yours is, if you produce, it's not like we have machines. It's not like real life where there's like a factory producing these damn things. So of course they're going to be like 100, 1,000 are going to be similar. When you do a cutout, you're hard pressed to get like even 3 the same. You know what I mean? So it's obviously acceptable to have a little bit of differences as long as the bulk majority of it is the same in fold and in cut. But it makes me wonder, you guys in particular, if you build like, if you're going to build 3 X47s, or in your case, RR8s, or 7s, or 5s, whatever, what makes them the same? Because you're not involving folds, you're doing simple cutouts. I wonder, like, I'm intrigued by what your family ties are, what your line is. Well, no, have you been building more Zetas, by the way, OE? You got the building back going on? Because we were worried about you there the last couple of weeks. Fuck, the last couple of months. Those are all folds? That rounded crap that you do all comes out as folds? How do you get tail booms on some of those then? Okay, now I'm even more intrigued because, like, you don't have a lot of... Okay, you got some builds, obviously, I've seen, like... But you got cuts, too. Avian shows me you've got cuts. But, I mean, like, now it's like, okay... I see the folding in the videos, but I also see a lot more cutting. And again, like, there's no way you could get some of those tails like you get without cutting. That just doesn't happen. Especially when you... Okay, now, I know it's obvious when you're putting, like, a vertical fin on there. That's a different sheet. Yeah, duh, that's cut. And you didn't, like, I'm going to fold this 8x4, 8x10 sheet of paper into a little bitty piece that's only 4 inches tall and put this on. Okay, yeah, true fold, but you don't do that. We don't do that. That's... You see what I'm saying? I'm still intrigued by, again, like, it'd be like me taking the Pink Widow out here. You know what I mean? Like, I said it when I built it, too. It's like, these can't be mass-produced. I mean, okay, I could if I literally took this thing and hand-traced this design and then decided, like, okay, I'm going to cut out about 4 more of these. Okay, yes, then... I still got weight in here? I still got weight in here. I don't know. Anyway, then it would be, like, mass-produced. But if you do a body, like, there was no folds. This right here that you see, this crease, and these two, that's the folds. That's it. That's the only thing I folded on here. The rest of it was blended body. So it's like, that's why I'm like, okay, how the hell... You know what I mean? I can't see... Oh, man. I imagine the complexity going into something like that and then saying, like, if I trace the lines, I'll probably get a family going on. But only if I trace. And I mean, then it would be up to me at some point, like, if I weren't to trace, if I were just, like, eyeball it and have it sitting there like, oh, hell, as long as I make it look like a YF23, I'll be okay, right? There you go. You know, I just got to be in the ballpark. But that's on the individual contractor. That's on the individual builder, too. Like, basically, it's like your ballpark is where you're comfortable with. And, like... Man, if it freaking looks like a flying saucer, it's the same plane as that one. You know what I mean? So. Okay, and yeah, right. No, that's what I meant. Yeah, exactly. That's what I meant. So, there's cuts and there's folds, but yeah, right. Okay. Because, like, dude, for real. I was like, holy shit. That's some advanced freaking folding right there, dude. Like, I'm... Did you call it... I asked this too. Did you call it Zeta because you figured that was going to be like literally the end all? I mean, I know if you follow the Greek, it's not. But I just meant like, did you expect to further that, or was that going to be like that was as far as you were able to take a family of a design and then stopped it, or just name it that to name it that? Am I like grasping at straws here because that's not how you did it? I feel like that's the case. It's like, well, I just named it like that. You're an idiot. But, you know, it does make me wonder, like, that does make me also think about how, so if you did like this, okay, if you were to take a body, if you were to take a plane like this, and let's say the folds, like this up here, and you did the line up here, and okay, one sheet now. I'm thinking this is kind of a segue into the flattening that I was talking about, because Robert, I was kind of thinking of you with this. The flattening I was referring to here in our topic was, and I'm going to do this. I was going to do it this one, but I don't think I've got enough body, so I'm going to skip on this one. I'm going to do it with another one, but it's one I built at work today. It's another wyvern. Sometimes I feel like saying wyvern, sometimes I feel like saying wyvern. Bear with me, I'm sorry. It's like I know even British, I believe it's wyvern, but I like the sound of it better, but every once in a while it sounds gay. So anyway, so this plane, like I was thinking about, okay, your folds and your cuts, Robert, when you were talking about them, I'm picturing like if this was flattened. My idea of flattening was like if I had, and OAE's birds would be great at this because he's got so much leeway. OAE, I was thinking about you. Okay, I thought about both of you seriously when this idea came up earlier. If you have a 1-inch plus fuselage and you got a big enough wing, which OAE might leave you all the way out because, like, seriously, your wings are really kind of narrow. In some planes, obviously not all of them. But anyway, I was thinking, so like you have the fuselage there. The flattening, of course, is just what you were thinking. It's like take it and crush it. You know, like start to form that and get it to the point where there's like some chine going on. So you have the chin all the way up and like it rounds out the body. It may diamond shape the body. Now, when you have fuselages like my standards here, where they're only about like less than 3/4 of it, no, 2 3/4 of an inch, but less than, like this is 3/4 of an inch, less than that. Okay, squashing it, almost no point because it's going to get so damn small. But when you have like an OAE production where it is 1+ inch, you can afford to squash it because the diamond shape will be retained and it still will end up only being this thin as opposed to being like minuscule to non-existent and probably no effect on the plane. The funny thing is I wrote up an RFP for that. Dude, like literally, I was just looking through the database. I wrote up an RFP for this, like 2008. 2005 I wrote it up. So I wrote up an RFP for that like 16 years ago. For different shapes, and then one of the things was flattening. So it'd be like giving it kind of that blended body, but you have to have a big enough fuselage to do it. I couldn't do it with this. I've also got a little bit of nose going on in there, so I couldn't do it anyway. But you couldn't do it with a skinny fuselage. You damn well could do it with something like an OAE production. So okay, 6 fins. See, I'm sorry when I get I'm watching you get caught up with talking, but yeah. So yeah. I knew there had to be a reason. Most people have a reason for their naming, so I knew you had to have a reason. I'm looking. What am I looking? There it is. Okay, I'm going. I wanted to see these too. So, but yeah. So the flattening. That's what I was. I'm sorry. That's what I was talking about with the flattening. Was like if you have a plane tall enough to do that, you should definitely do that. You should definitely try to see if you can squash it down to get it. You know, to give the body some shape. Oh yeah, I really want to try it with yours. I'm actually more anxious about that than just slimming down the size of the fuselage. Well, now I've done it with the Cobra, but I do want to give a couple more designs, a little slimming down, bigger wings and shit like that. But I also want to take, now that I've got the ideas, like now that I know you've got like you're sitting on quite a few designs that have 1 inch to 1 3/4, 1.5 inches of fuselage. So it's like, man, squashing them down and giving them like a diamond shape, so you could put like strakes on there, or like some ventral strakes, or some strakelets back there, or a tailplane even. Do you imagine? I mean, think of the possibilities. You could actually like You can actually do like the RSTE we were talking about, because a lot of, say, the Vulcan family, okay, because I know they have a lot of fuselage, but they also have a straight back to the trailing edge. You give it the RSTE, so it slants back, and then you actually have a tailplane that's back there on its own in the open lateral air. Think about it, man. Think about the possibilities of playing with that. Think about expanding upon that, because once you have them in there, you could actually put like the toothpick through and make them like independent. Now we're talking Y13, you know. You can actually, you know, like make them like wind controlled. But also, which every plane's a cargo plane, because all of a sudden you've got a body. You know what I mean? All these things I'm thinking of. BG. What the hell are you talking about? BG. What? BG. I have no idea. What? Wait, background. No, wait. Black green. Ah, black green. Gotcha. I know what you're talking about. Hey, there's homie that was actually asking about what's going on, man. He keeps asking about that Nova 2. I told Exile. Okay, now Exile, you got to ask KIA. Exile is KIA's plane. And the S16 is just the number of it. It's just number 16. So if you're going to get that one from him, well, you ain't going to be able to have, like, he's just going to teach you how to build Exile. And if you ask about that, Exile's kind of, well, unofficial. Okay, no, officially, it's pretty much a Phase 3 export. So there's that. Because Chaos, you know, he's had these. So 16, I mean, he just teach you how to build those little strakelets in the back that we're putting on some of our birds. So what you're asking for is an individual number. And we can give you the tech off of it, but basically just asking for Exile with that particular tech. So, I know, dude. I know. I've also heard about the prices, dude. I just listening to the housing market today and like learning, like, oh my God, the prices are freaking jumping up high too. I'm like, man, interest rates low, but the prices are shooting up. Man, dude, human beings cannot win as long as other human beings are in power. Just freaking sucks. By the way, I also want to mention, Robert, what were you talking about them bringing back the A12? Would they be foolhardy enough to do some stupid shit like that? You know, I saw that, like, okay, the Air Force is kind of, like, the Pentagon in general, but the Air Force in general is kind of considering the fact that they were wrong, putting it all in the F-35, and we all thought this was true to begin with, because the F-35 can outplace 4 different planes accurately, actually, like 6 different planes accurately. I think it was a totally stupid idea. Why the hell would you do that? I mean, oh my God. Ugh. I always thought it was stupid. There was no way in hell that the F-35 was going to replace the A-10. I thought it would be a pretty effective replacement for the F-16. Damn good replacement for the AV-8. But the A-10? Ain't nothing going to be able to do the A-10's job but another type of A-10. And there's no way in hell that kind of plane is going to be stealthy. The thing they need to realize is you don't need a wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, kind of all, you know, like just super dope, hype, stealth bird doing everything like that. See, why do they put that many eggs into the basket? It's stupid on so many levels. They thought that it was like, you don't need stealth for that job. The bottom line, and so simple, I don't know what think tank thought them was a good idea. For the F-16, sure. Sure, the F-16 does need probably a stealthy replacement. And again, that's going to give you, you know, a bulk buy, because if you want to even replace F-16 straight up 1-for-1 in the Air Force, guess what? They're going to need 1,700 planes. Even now, I think we're down to 1,200. But still, a lot of birds. And they want to factor in the A-10 into that too. And to a lesser extent, F-18s. Remember, they were thinking like the F-18EF was supposed to replace the F-14. But the F-35 is supposed to replace the F-18 ABCD, the Legacy Hornets. So it's like, what the hell? You know, you wanted to do all that? So, yes, the F-35 was going to be a bulk buy. But there was no way. You didn't even need it. Your F-22, your F-18 was supposed to have air superiority, air dominance, whatever, the counter air, whatever the hell you want to call it at the time. So once you had command of the air, you don't need any more of the stealth birds. You don't need to have an A-10 replacement be stealthy. You just need the damn A-10. You just need the damn AV8 to a lesser extent. I'm going to say that. Even though when they had the Stovall version of the F-35, they had the AV8 replacement in mind. And again, it works. It works. You got your supersonic Stovall, whatever you want to call it, because it can do vertical when it needs to. So again, you got your supersonic and stealthy VTOL bird. Good on you, but you don't really need to replace it because again, those kind of planes, when you need close support, you have control of the sky. You don't need to worry about the damn thing being stealthy. So who in the think tank told them this was cool? It bugs me because it should have never been the all answer. It should have been like, okay, F-16 replacement and been done. AV-8 replacement, sure. Hornet replacement, okay. I can see that because the Navy's Hornet is the Air Force's Falcon and vice versa. But the AV-8 is essentially the A-10, the Marines, you know, or the Navy. Well, the Marines, Navy doesn't use it, excuse me. But, it's, you know, it's a bastard stepchild. But again, why? Why? You imagine a stealthy A-10? What the hell is the point? By the time troops need the A-10 overhead, what are you going to be stealthy to? The tanks that can physically see you? The only stealth that A-10 needs is to be actually physically invisible. Because by the time you've got to that level, radars, who cares? Who cares? It's made its point. I know, see, and you made it, okay, well, getting back, sorry, that was kind of my rant on that, but basically, yeah, dude, like, man, I kind of envy you that, because you have one plane for all that, you know, it really is kind of cool. It's like, you know, Vulcan does the interceptor, Vulcan does the bomber, Vulcan does the airlift, Vulcan does close air support. Although I am anxious, what plane, I got to look at your roles again. What plane do you have doing close air support? Because obviously your shortest range plane, it better be. And like some of you guys, Robert, you included, like, you do understand we kind of need the closest support planes to be close. You know, like if you're standing here, close. Like within 10 yards of you. You don't have to go any further than that. Close. And, I mean, those planes get no love, but we got to have them because we want to test capabilities. Can you build that plane? So, you know, yeah, there's that. I know. I just, yeah, like, it's so freaking stupid, I think. Why would you? You know? You know, the A-12 is a primary example of that. And like, first of all, the Navy does not need a stealth bomber. The Navy doesn't do bombers, so they need to be looking at that all wrong. And the Navy did the same thing earlier than the Air Force did by putting all its eggs in a basket by building the damn Hornet. If you remember correctly, now especially with the Super Hornet, now a Hornet does all the jobs. And actually, that's technically true even more so now because the last Legacy Hornet is, like, done. The Navy flies no more ABCDs. It's all EFs now. But not so more. The point is, like, the A-12, I think the reason why it failed even more than the fact that, like, design got bloated in expenses, but, like, they were looking to replace a plane they already had the replacement for in flight. Because the F-18 was supposed to replace the A-6, the A-7, the A-4. That's 3 A's that we had at one time on a carrier. Remember? We had A6s, we had A7s, we had A4s. Granted, A4s were on the way out because A7s were kind of supposed to do that job. But the F-18 was called the FA-18 for a reason because it replaced both the A6 and the A7. So, when they were, really, if you look back on it, the A-12, there was a time, Gulf War, that A6s, 7s, and F-18s all flew together. And that was the time, ironically, we were thinking about bringing in the A-12. So it's like, seriously, even if it was like a little bit of money over budget, it was failed already because it's like, well, the replacement for the A6 is the A-18. We're flying that thing now. Sometimes you can't get inside a politician's head and figure out why the government is so bloody stupid, mate. I mean, really, dude, so stupid. You don't need top speed. Hey, ain't you learned nothing? Come on now, seriously, speed ain't it anymore. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, the Starhawks. That's right. Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, you're right. I remember. See? Because your little ones are like the ones that look kind of like this, right? Because you had mentioned this before in a video way back in the day when I first brought the Diamond out. And yeah, you said like they look like Starhawks. And you're right, yeah. See? I told you. They don't get much love. They never get much love. Because you end up flying with something. Every one of us likes our gliders. A long-range glider. Hey, that's what we want to see, right? You know, you didn't get a rubber band launch. For real, I ain't seen Robert like post anything about some plane that only flies 10 feet with a rubber band launch. Because basically you could do that with every plane, right? You could take a crumpled ball of rubber band launch and throw it into the ground. And boom, yeah, close air sport. That's what I'm saying, though. No love, but we got to have them. We got to have them. It's, you know, we got to have them. You want me to Facebook that? Hold on, I'm going in. What? Where? Wait a minute. Dude, where the hell did you put that? I'm looking. Oops. Yeah, I can imagine the short-range plane being like... Can you imagine the short-range plane being, well, what would you call it? Like 50 feet? 50 yards? Excuse me, 50 yards? I mean, I can't even, you know? Oh, by the way, Robert, I want to point this out, like, why did you call, you know that video you gave me on like, the IVPAC Facebook? That Type 4X47? Yeah. Seriously, if anything was to be called the Black Widow, that'd be the Black Widow, by the way. You guys should see this thing. Can you put a picture of that up for everybody? Yeah. Says the Marine guy. I love the fact the Marine guy says ain't nobody got time for close air support. Really? You should live that, dude. You should freaking live that. I'll tell you, hey, Mr. Paper Airplane guy would definitely believe in that, isn't it? I'm not getting into that. But I mean, like, dude, there's a time and place for stunters. I like stunters. No, what ain't nobody got time for is ain't nobody got time for them damn helicopters. We ain't getting into these helicopters, bro. We ain't getting into these helicopters. I know, it's what it looks like. That's what it looks like. You need to show them that Vulcan you made. Oh, hey, can you get in on the Facebook? The IVPAC Facebook? So you can see this? Because, Robert, if you could put, like, you messenger me, though, but, like, I mean, just put their pics on the actual page, because then people can see them. And then, like, what the hell? You know what I'm saying? And then, like, he could post it up there. So, I mean, we could be, I'm just saying because we could be sharing the stuff on there or whatever. So, that's all I'm saying. Yeah, I saw the video. Workshop. It's just a garage, dude. It's a glorified garage. It's alright. It'll serve its purpose. I mean, seems overkill for the things you're talking about. But then again, you're talking about a lot of stuff, so it'll work. Actually, it looks like it may have room for, like, some, you know, a bigger contraption like the RV you talk about, so. Should work. I got the wife talking about doing siding and crap, so I was a little bit, I mean, I know it's got to be done, and it will be done, but damn it. A little bit longer, a little bit further, It's alright. I wouldn't give it an awesome, but it's alright. I mean, dude, like, they're all pretty much the same, so it's alright, You're not going to get a high ranking about something like that. You're just not. Sorry. It's not going to work. It's just not going to work. Will you get, I mean, it's going to get what you need out of it, so that's really all that matters. I can challenge you to that. I should challenge you to that. I challenge you to do that. I mean, okay, because again, if I look, OAE, I'm talking to you. I mean, like, if I look on, well, I'm checking it now. Oh my God. Okay, I show my IVPAC roll sheets as being updated March 1st, but this is the one that I have on my computer. So it's probably not too much different because all you've done is change a little bit of planes on yours. So I'm looking here. So you're close to short range support. NASA's uses the Viper. Robert, you use the Osprey, or is the Osprey retired? I've got that down as you using the Osprey. So yeah, because you're saying you use the Turbo Starhawk. OE. I've got you as, you say Cobra as well, which is funny because you also have Cobra up there as your interceptor, which I always thought is funny. How in the hell do you have a plane, same plane mind you, being your interceptor and a close support? I mean, we're talking, this should be two totally different aircraft. I mean, seriously, if there's ever a plane that's like a hemisphere away from where it started, it's the interceptor and the close support plane. Because you're talking about a stunt nose little, stunning plane, loop to loop kind of plane, versus your straight as all hell, doesn't deviate from a straight flight plan and flies as far as almost anything you've got. Like seriously, this is what you're talking about. You're talking about basically the shortest range plane you could build and the longest range plane you could build, and you've got one plane doing both. I understand that this could only be maybe a flap and a cutaway, but really, these should be two different designs. Just seems that way to me. Turbo Starhawk, I can get it. I mean, your Starhawks, because after looking at them again, yeah, that's probably a primary example. But what I was getting, I'm sorry, I got off a little bead there. It's like, what I was getting at was how old the Starhawk or the Turbo Starhawk design was, because that would be like the last time, since that's the current model you're using as a close range support. So if that's kind of old, I challenge you to make a newer one. Hey Ben, good evening. How are you doing? You still use Osprey. Okay, yeah, that's cool. Sorry, I was looking at the screen, so I couldn't keep up with you guys. My bad. Yeah, so I was like, yeah, OE, I challenge you, bro. I challenge you to build a small, a newer short-range bird of some sort. Build, I mean, even the next Starhawk. But I don't know how old it is. I just think you're due up. Yes, I did. I noticed that. I had an alert. I should say I had an alert on that. So I had to check them because I was kind of scared that it was, sometimes like forums get, spammed is probably the best word for it. It's the only word for it, but yeah. The forums are a little bit dead because of what they are. I mean, I'm embarrassed about that, but you glean all the information though, and everything points to everywhere. So it all depends on what. Yeah, no pun intended. It all depends on what forum you're comfortable posting on. You want to chat here, you want to chat on Facebook, you want to chat in actual forums. It doesn't really matter. Don't really care. Just get on something, do it on up. That's okay. What the hell? Oh yeah. is, okay, and also on that note, you said the Turbo Starhawk, okay? Firstly, I had to check out, before I get into that, firstly, I want to check out, like, okay, the dashes. You go by dash or mark when it comes to those. Is that like a Mark 5, dash 5? I would assume like the dash 5 is newer than, say, the dash 3. If this is the case, how old being the dash 5? And is it something that probably should be, so I'm challenging you to this, like, okay. Yeah, from 2016. Okay, I got it here, all right. See, all right, so, wait. Okay, so this should be different. I'm looking at it here. Okay, so you're saying, I don't know if you've changed this on the sheets, like online. I've got to check online because this is my bad problem about ever having these updated. So the aircraft sheet that I have on my PC, which I consider the master, I never get from the damn one online. Well, I check them both, but I don't actually like my inputs versus their inputs and so on and so blah, blah, blah. So I need to do that. But anyway, this didn't change because it still shows as a rollout of this Turbo Starhawk, December 2, 2016. And a retirement date of December 31, 2018. So you can't possibly be having Turbo Starhawk being the close air support plane now, can you? So what is doing that right now? That's what I'm taking a look at. I mean, Strike Predator could be doing that. Or Predator. I mean, you have a lot to dip into the multi-role aircraft, so... Yeah. I love that. If you don't know what you're going to make it do, you just say multi-role, bam, done. Everybody, governments do that too. So, okay. Dash 5? I'm going to just say dash 5 because you're leaving it like that. He was talking about his workshop. Yeah, I can't show it on there, but if he posts a video on the IVPAC Facebook directly on it instead of Messenger, you guys can see it too. See? You guys... Just put it on up there. I mean, put it on up there what you want people to see. But, you can do that because everybody can post on the chain. Hey, Ben, you still in there? I had a question. Because it was going where, like, I was asking Robert about this. And it's good if you popped on in. I was going to say, I wanted an opinion because of you guys that actually cut out plan forms, like my Pink Widow. I was just wondering, like, if you guys had, like, if you had a family of planes, if there was, like, certain ones that were built similar to others. I want to know about the cutouts, because I'd asked Robert about it. I mean, he's, like, saying, okay, powerhouse planes are, obviously, he was saying there's some folds involved in the cuts, and as well as cuts. So if you've got, obviously, with us that fold, when you've got folds, you know that, like, it's a different fold here or a different fold there, but you still got the same family. I wondered about you guys' cuts, like, what were making your family differences. If you always cut with, like, a sweep wing, if you always cut with, like, a rhomboid wing, whatever. I mean, I just wanted to know how you guys differentiated your families. That's all. Like, if you even had any. So... Man, dude, the last time NASA's was up there, he was still Maverick Incorporated, for crying out loud. Yeesh. This was a while ago, bruh. Are they really that? They really are that small. Those are like freaking tiny. So anyway, okay. So yeah. Not zoning out, just watching up. So every time you guys say I gotta like take a look at something, I go to take a look at it. So like, I'm here, but I'm like looking. I keep up. So There's a lot of videos to watch out there. You know, there's a lot of like instructables to look at out there. Nessus was talking about how he's going to have a nice little studio. Like I said, if you guys could see it, it'd be cool. We're anticipating, you know, a bigger, better studio for everybody to use. That's all. So. Tip tanks and pods, tip pods, they're a cool idea. And in a lot of cases, with paper planes, they make them look really cool. It's something not all of them can have. But it's funny because it's like, yeah, you gave tip pods to the one plane that would, chances are, would never have them. I mean, like, maybe realistically, but definitely in paper terms, because, like, seriously, the shorter range, like, is there a need? I mean, there's kind of a need, I suppose, but, like, why would you? It really doesn't matter. I thought it looked cool. The picture, like, they look really cool. It's inspiring. Remember we talked about this like a year ago on the show? I like NASA's had was referring to how we could do it, and then we put those cylinders that I had on there, cut the grooves in and put them on. Oh, damn. Yeah, see, here we go. Talk about another idea. Okay, I did that. If you remember, I did that. I think I did that with something like a D-mount because I just stuck them on there. And again, you cut the little slit in there and you put them on the tip tanks. Okay. But I never did it with it. But like if you cut a slit long enough, you could actually put it over your anhedrals. But I'm here to tell you, by the way, if you go with a round, what we call the Pisces, which is basically the cylinder power stability units. It's an indirect way because actually it's like power stability cylinders is how you get Pisces. But anyway, they don't really work as anhedrals because your Y13 is a better aerodynamicist, a fluid dynamicist as you would be than I am. I've studied it for a long, long time, but like, okay, you're trapping the air and you're causing the corkscrew here with your corners, be them 90 degrees, 45 degrees, or whatever. The air that gets excited and flown off as drag on a typical anhedral, if it's just a regular fold, has a standard way of departing the aircraft. It doesn't create as much drag, at least for our planes, as these are, and helps create stability because it's a corner. It's somewhere to air to trap. You ever put them in place on a rounded body? If you put a cylinder out there so it's round, that kind of sucks because while the air travels through it is nice and stable, around it, it's really, really ugly. I mean, it works for real planes, but for paper, not so much, and especially out there. So I don't recommend doing that. That's really another cool idea. I have one up here. And as usual, of course, it's a phase. Because, come on, you know me by now. What am I going to test on? I'm going to test on a phase. I got this one here that has that. These were installed at a slightly later time, but this year. My God. So, I had these on here. Number 522, built August 6th of 2002. If you see what I had done was, I gave it the cylinders. They are clear. But I also get, like, there's a little bit, what I did was I created a trap patch. So there's a little bit of an anhedral right there. Just to actually have as a buffer for these to hold on to. Really sucks because I feel like I wasted a really good phase on a technology that didn't work. Because the body style of this bird is quite lovely. She's built out of a really good paper, really stiff, but she's also wasted, I think, by these cylinders because they didn't work. She just rocks, which you would expect because there's round things on there and the air is going around it like a Coanda effect, and it just doesn't work. Yeah, I know. I get it. And that's why you're right. I mean, I always assumed that your pods were angular. Obviously not for stealth purposes, because come on now, we build paper planes. But obviously not for stealth purposes, but basically for that reason, like easier construction. I mean, to take a square or a rectangular sheet of paper and roll it isn't very hard either if you want to make it round. I mean, it can be argued that an angular pod is probably more complex to build than a circular pod. However, the uses and the repeatability to make sure that your pod is always the same size, because once you've built it one way, you take it apart and you have a template for the others. And let's face it, it's a little bit trickier to make sure that your cylinder is the exact same shape every time. Not so much like when you're dealing with angled cuts and folds and stuff. So, my God, I'm sounding technical on it, because a paper plane really is hard to duplicate in the first place. They're like fingerprints. No two are going to turn out the same. Well, I got 700 phases. No two are the same. But yeah, it's like, yeah, I can see why you did it. I wouldn't go that route either. But it's like, yeah. What you mean? What, the way the fins are canted in? Because that plane's pretty well flat. Well, the SR-71 kind of uses... Okay, the SR-71 kind of uses that particular technology that we're talking about. But again, dude, in real life, rounded bodies work. It's just in our universe, paper airplanes, it doesn't work as well. Can't really translate out as well. I mean, it can. Obviously, blended bodies work. You guys have been working it, but I mean like rounded. Like you can't build a simple like an airliner. You can't put a tube with a couple wings, a couple tailplanes, and a fin, or an empennage. Wings and an empennage. You can't. They don't work that right. Even like our Japanese, Korean, Chinese friends, when you see the videos they post up, I suppose they're mostly Japanese, but even their videos, their balsa wing, when they do have a tail boom, when they do have a wing, when they do have a more standard look, everything's still flat. You notice they like press everything together. Paper's pressed together. The balsa wing is cut. The balsa wood is cut like that. It's still flat. They don't round them because it just doesn't translate out well to us. Without active stability of some sort, they don't turn out right. You guys that build these blended bodies, Y13, POW, you guys know that's true too. I mean, you guys add, like, there'll be a tail, there'll be a ventral or dorsal strake or two, paired off, something. I mean, true flying wings work, but they only do like 2 or 3 things, right? Seriously, you guys build a lot of them that don't have anything on them, and they're like a flying wing, but you throw them one way and they perform one way. So that's what I mean. It's like, unless you have active, like an active wing warping, wing bending, flaps, something like that, unless you've got a guy or a radio control and you can create the flaps, they're going to fly one way. That's it. Like I said, it just, and that's a blended body. That's totally different. That's not a literal flying tube with wings. They don't translate out well for us. Blended bodies, yes. Regular planes, no. So that's what I mean. It's like, so you give a pod. What I'm basically saying, you give a pod, you give it round and everything round on there, and it just, if you build it round, you gotta have something to offset it. My old bodies, and like our friend here was asking about that, like so. It's nighttime here. It's nighttime. Yeah, it's nighttime in most places, I think. It's not where you... I don't know how to pronounce it. I'd say his name online, but I don't want to, like, massacre it because I figure I would. Yeah. He likes your channel. See? OAE, I'm serious, man. The world awaits your next video, bro. You got to put something else up there. Round plane, yeah, I'm serious. A rounded, like the old bodies. Remember, Robert, you were asking me about those. And you said, like, build something with the circular. And again, if you remember my factory tour, I've got a couple in the box. I've got like 4 or 5, even though I actually retired a couple that day. The couple that weren't good and a couple I've still brought out. And some of them do. But for the most part, you know, and still, like, again, what I said was you can't build like an airliner. You can't build, you got to have something. And mine had anhedrals and a couple of strakes too, you know, so I can't fulfill myself to trust it, build something along those lines. Yeah? What of that one? What say you of this F7 Eagle? My friend, I am seriously going to put up, by the way, I'm seriously going to put up a Nova tutorial. I have not forgotten you. If you had a chance to listen to the early part, I will be putting up the Nova tutorial. You've been asking nicely for quite a while, and I'm sorry, but I am not ignoring you. I'm just trying to get this video right for you. I don't want you to get a bad Nova. I don't want you to get, I've said it before, I'm going to say it again. Make sure you get a good Nova and a good video, because like that's actually, I've almost got the video how I want it, and I just need to make sure I've got the plane where I want it. So, Exile, you got to get on KIA's channel for that one, unless KIA is listening in. Hopefully, hey, big guy, are you listening in? Because he's been asking about Exile. He kind of wants a tutorial, so you know what to do. I know what I can do, but you should do it, though. Do you have a, is the F7 Eagle an instructable or a video somewhere? Because, I'm talking about these planes that are like more complex and everything, but like, I don't think, my old bodies are a lot different just because my old bodies are hybrids. They're all hybrids. Just when you and I were talking about, like, all of us were talking about how the cutoffs, you know, how you make a cutoff and how you make the cylinder and how you make, you know, the different things put together. The old bodies that I build are two different, I haven't concentrated on them, and maybe that'll be next rate show, but yeah, mine are all hybrids. So maybe I've been building my hybrid planes for a lot longer than I've been thinking of, but I mean, basically, if you're going to have a plane like that, they almost have to be, don't they? I mean, you can't really, it can't be one. It's got to be more than two. I don't know. What the hell are you talking about? Oh, that's bloody hell. Just so stupid. Sorry, now I'm being distracted again because I'm trying to get in and see exactly what the hell they're talking about there. Here I go. I'm going. One thing's for sure, I'm not putting up a tutorial on Nova Type 1. It's serious up. We're not doing it Nova Type 1. It's either going to be like Nova Type, well, basically 2 or 3. And there's only 3. So, you're not going to know the difference. That old? Damn. Oh, so you want to talk about it, but you got freaking old. That's pretty old, bro. So, like, when you say that, how old is that? Because I have to admit to being, like, wondering, even, I mean, I know you're not ancient, but you're older, but you're not that old. So, I'm basing that, of course, on, like, your earliest YouTube channel thing, which was, like, what your earliest ones were 2011, 12, right? Shortly after that, the Instructables came on. So, again, can appreciate the lack of, Jesus. Wait, I'm going to go find it. I'm going to find it, damn it, because If I don't, it's gonna mess with my head. It's already a little bit messing with my head, so I'm going to figure this out. Yeah, 11 years ago. Okay, 11 years ago. So yeah, you had that. See, dude, you had to have learned. You had to have learned so much. Hey, wait a minute. Did you change? You've been on your YouTube channel, haven't you? Dude, your banner looks like it's different. Don't mess with me. Your banner looks like it's different. You haven't put up another video in like 6 years, but your banner looks different. In any bloody case, my point here was, so 11 years ago, okay, what's funny is thanks to that picture that you have everywhere of Peter Graves, I kind of picture you as Peter Graves. So you're like my 70-year-old airplane icon over there, you know, even though, like, seriously, you probably did that when you were 14. Come on, admit it, right? I know it's like, it's different, so. Oh my God, yeah. You need another video. Yeah, KIA hasn't, like... I'm actually, honestly, not sure if KIA has his own channel yet. I think he does. He just hasn't put up any content in there. So if you guys were looking... Because Robert, you asked... This was a long time ago, but I think you had asked about this. I mean, a long time ago, like 6 months ago or something like that. It was like last year, I think. But, like, when he... Might have even been when KIA was on with us. But, which would even be longer. But I was just thinking, like, yeah, I know he was asking about it, and I think he was, like, we talked about him having one, but I don't know if he's got it yet, so we do need to get on him about having that channel. Hey, when you have an O body, you have a natural tendency to, you really do want to have the, a Bombay or carriage of something. Those the circular bodies, they like lend that, don't they? Like, you really want to play with exactly that. You're kind of like, yeah, I want to. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you do. You want to put something in there that they can hold, they can carry, they can drop. So I get it why it's a bomber or something like that. What do you mean doing the live chat? We have to do the live chat. It's like it's like expected. People pop in, say hey, show a plane or two. Anywho, okay. Good talk, people. Good talk. So, what else have we got out there? Anything else that anybody want to talk about, like this night? Because we've got a lot of discussion going on here, and I kind of like where it went. So, I now know what we'll be featuring next week. Thanks to us, OAU especially. We'll get with this because I touched on the flatten up. We'll probably feature it more next week because I really want to see where we can go with that. And maybe I'll show you your damn short fuselage Cobra that we're talking about. Or at least one of them. But in the meantime, they did flatten those up because I wanted to see, again, any plane that does that, which could actually be an O-body. You guys understand when I say O-body, I literally mean just grabbing a cylinder for a fuselage. Yeah, working this. We're trying to get this out there. So, I'm going to touch that up on that next week. We'll try to feature some of the more of the O-bodies next week. Our friend, he asked me about the W-bodies. That's still kind of an experimental thing, and I may actually do something about that, but I want to, again, that's even worse than me giving you Nova. I mean, Nova, I know I can give you a plane that's going to work. Because I'm used to Novas, okay? But old bodies are still experimental with me, so, if you want to see more of those, I'll have to build more of those and build them so that they work. It's almost as bad as my burst aircraft. I can't burst aircraft either. But, something we'll be working on, something I'll probably feature, soon. So, but in the meantime, guys, this is a great show. Thanks for stopping in, everybody. We gotta kill it. We're hitting the 2-hour mark, and again, you know me, we're trying to keep this within a reasonable time. I started a little bit late, probably should end this, but we got into a good talk, got into a good discussion. I appreciate y'all for that. Hey, as long as you can stop by, it really doesn't matter. NASA's Y-13 again. Carrie, if you're listening. Missiles, if you're listening. Oi, pow, again. Just, everybody, thanks for the discussion. It was really good. Thanks for stopping in. Be sure to stop in next week. We will get into this old body stuff and this flattening up. See how much further along came into 1 day if you did. And a new idea. You heard it, but I will get further into it. But in the meantime, as always,